understanding. Facing death reveals true purpose. When you accept that your time on this earth is limited, everything changes. The small distractions, the fears, the opinions of others, they lose their power. You start to see what truly matters. Death strips away the noise and exposes what's real. It forces you to ask, understanding. If I only had one more day, how would I spend it? That question alone brings clarity and urgency. When you confront mortality, you stop wasting time and start living intentionally. Only by facing death can you discover what you're truly living for. The mindset of fearlessness leads to freedom. Understanding. When you let go of fear, you unlock a power that few ever experience. Fear is the invisible chain that holds most people back. Fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. But when you decide that nothing will control you, not even fear itself, you begin to move differently. You speak with conviction, understanding, act with courage, and live with purpose. Fearlessness doesn't mean you feel no fear, it means you refuse to be ruled by it. True freedom begins the moment you stop running from what scares you and start facing it head on. Most people exist. Few truly live. They wake up, follow routines, and chase comfort, understanding. But deep inside they're empty. Living isn't about surviving another day. It's about feeling every second with purpose and passion. The difference between existing and living is intention. To live is to risk, to love deeply, to pursue something that ignites your soul. It's to face pain, failure, standing, and uncertainty, and still move forward. Most people die long before their last breath because they never dared to live fully. Existence is easy. Living takes courage. Preparation to die means readiness to give your all. It's the mindset of total commitment. No hesitation, no holding back, standing. When you're prepared to die, you've already accepted the price of greatness. You stop worrying about comfort, opinions, or failure. You give every ounce of energy, every heartbeat, every breath to your mission. That level of dedication turns ordinary people into legends. It's not about seeking death, standing, but about being willing to sacrifice everything for what matters most. When you live with that mindset, fear disappears, and purpose becomes your only focus. That's how true warriors are made. The greatest warriors accept death before they fight, standing. They step onto the battlefield with peace in their hearts because they've already made their choice, victory or death. That acceptance gives them unmatched power. They no longer fight to survive, they fight to win. Fear cannot control someone who has already faced the worst possible outcome. Understanding. When you stop clinging to life, you begin to live with unmatched intensity. Acceptance of death brings clarity, courage, and purpose. It transforms battle into art and struggle into destiny. Only those who accept death truly understand the value of life. Fear of loss limits greatness. Understanding. The moment you start protecting what you have, you stop reaching for what you could become. Fear of losing comfort, status, or security traps people in mediocrity. Greatness demands risk. It asks for everything. You can't rise while holding on to safety. Every breakthrough, every victory, standing. Every transformation begins with a willingness to lose. The people who achieve the impossible are those who accept that loss is part of the journey. When you stop fearing what you might lose, you discover what you truly stand to gain. Power, growth, and limitless potential. When death no longer scares you, standing. Nothing can stop you. The fear of death is the root of all hesitation. It keeps people cautious, small, and afraid to live boldly. But once you accept that death is inevitable, life becomes limitless. You stop wasting time, you stop pretending, and you start chasing what truly matters. Every goal, every dream, standing, every act of courage flows from that fearless acceptance. When death loses its grip on your mind, you become unstoppable. You no longer survive life, you command it with purpose, passion, and absolute freedom. Legacy is built by those who act as if tomorrow isn't promised. Understanding. When you realize time is slipping through your fingers, every action gains meaning. You stop waiting for someday and start creating today. People who leave a legacy don't talk about what they'll do, they do it now. Every word, every decision, understanding. Every effort becomes a piece of something that will outlive them. Legacy isn't about fame, it's about impact. It's the mark you leave on hearts, minds, and history. Those who live like their time is running out always burn brighter because they live for something eternal. Understanding. Every second matters when you know it could be your last. Awareness of mortality sharpens focus, kills procrastination. You stop scrolling, stop complaining, stop wasting days on things that don't matter. Suddenly every sunrise feels sacred, every breath a gift. The clock becomes your greatest motivator, standing, not your enemy. When you live like time is precious, you give your best in everything, in work, in love, in purpose. Each second becomes an opportunity to leave your mark. Those who live with that urgency don't just pass time, they define it. True courage is not avoiding fear but mastering understanding. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. Everyone feels fear, but only if you learn to control it, to channel it into power. When you face fear head on, you strip it of its control. You begin to realize that fear is just energy, and if you use it standing, it fuels strength, focus, and determination. The bravest people aren't fearless, they're disciplined enough to act anyway. Mastery over fear is mastery over life itself, because fear only lives where courage refuses to grow. Death gives meaning to life, urgency to every breath. Without death, understanding, life would be empty, directionless, and slow. It's the knowledge that our time is limited that makes it precious. Death reminds us to cherish what we have, to forgive faster, to love harder, and to chase our dreams now, not later. Every heartbeat is a countdown, but instead of fearing it, understanding, we can let it drive us. When you understand that death is part of the journey, not the enemy, every moment becomes sacred, a chance to truly live before the clock runs out. Being prepared to die means being prepared to live fully. It's the realization that once you accept the understanding, you're finally free to begin. When you no longer fear death, you start taking risks, speaking truth, and chasing dreams with unstoppable energy. You stop living halfway, no more hesitation, no more waiting for the perfect moment. You live boldly, love deeply, and give complete understanding. To be prepared to die is to understand that life's beauty lies in its fragility. Every moment matters, every action counts. Only those who embrace death truly experience the fullness of living. Greatness requires sacrifice, sometimes everything. You cannot rise without giving something up: comfort, safety, understanding, approval, or even parts of yourself. Every legend was built on loss of sleep, uncertainty, peace. Sacrifice is the price of progress. Those who want greatness without paying the cost will always remain ordinary. The road to excellence demands surrender. Your excuses, your limits, your fears, understanding. When you give everything to your purpose, you become something greater than yourself. Greatness doesn't come cheap, it demands everything. And in giving everything, you gain immortality through impact. Don't seek safety, seek significance. Safety is an illusion. It keeps you comfortable, understanding. But it also keeps you small. The greatest tragedy isn't failing, it's never daring to try. People spend their lives chasing stability, building walls around their potential and calling it security. But history remembers those who broke free, who risked everything for something meaningful. Understanding. Significance is born from danger, from stepping into the unknown when everyone else hides. The moment you stop craving safety and start chasing purpose, you begin to live a life worth remembering. A life that echoes long after you're gone. Immortality is achieved through impact, not years. Understanding. It's not about how long you live, but how deeply you touch others while you're here. Time doesn't measure greatness. Actions do. The people who are remembered are those who gave something eternal to the world: courage, love, inspiration. You can't control how many days you have understanding, but you can control what you do with them. Live in a way that your presence becomes a story, your words a legacy, your life a message. That's how you defeat death. By living in a way that time can't erase.